Results for the matric class of 2020 have started to come in. Today, schools that wrote the Independent Educators Board Matric releasing results. Monday, of course, we'll see the government schools releasing their results. But if the independent schools are an early indicator, only a very slight drop in results compared to the previous year. 98.07% pass rate compared to 98.82% in 2019. Stellar results from these young people in a very difficult year. I'm joined now by two pupils from the Redhill High School Matric class of 2020, that's here in Johannesburg, former Deputy Head Girl Wangari Mbuthia and Deputy Head Boy Mohammed Mita. Good evening, and thanks to both of you for taking time out of what I hope are great celebrations. Mohammed, I'm going to start with you because you wrote the IEB board exam. How did you do?
I did quite well, actually. I was very happy with my results. Yeah, I was elated when I got the message.
Quite well. You are certainly underplaying it. I believe it was 7 distinctions.
Yes, it was.
So what are you planning to study? Where are you planning to study? What's your next move?
So I'm hoping to study medicine, but the where part of it can't be answered yet because universities only give their final admissions next week. I'm hoping to study in UCT or Wits. Those are the two favorites right now.
And Wangari, coming to you, you wrote a slightly different matric. It's the International Baccalaureate Matric. Explain what that is exactly and how you did.
So the IB is an internationally recognized program. It's taken all over the world. The curriculum is structured quite differently. We instead take a maximum of 6 subjects, 3 of which are at a higher level and 3 of which are at a standard level, and they differ in how much coursework you cover. And it's also slightly different in that we don't get continuous assessments, but rather our final grade is the combination of 2 papers and an exam. So I was fortunate enough to receive a 42 out of 45 points, which is how the IB structures their grading system, which is about the top 2% of international applicants who wrote.
So you did okay. I mean, that is incredible. The top 2% in the world, actually, let's just call it what it is. These are the sorts of marks that people who want to get into Harvard and Yale basically can walk through the doors. So I want to ask you what your future plans are.
So currently I'm planning on starting at the University of Pretoria and studying biotechnology. But I did apply overseas to some place in the US and the UK, so I'm eagerly waiting their decisions.
So, Mohammed, back to you. How tough was it to keep your marks high, bearing in mind it was an incredibly disrupted year, that you two, as deputy heads of your school, were robbed of some of the most marvellous moments that you were hoping to experience, and that you had a bit of a leadership role to play for the others in your class who were also struggling?
Yeah, so it was a very difficult year only because of the amount of change. You know, at times we were fully online, at times we were coming back periodically and then going back online. So the problem was just the unpredictability. I did feel slightly robbed of the role of deputy head because I didn't get to speak in as many assemblies, but I still had a wonderful year. And in terms of keeping marks high, I think I had more time because of the time in lockdown and the online learning, and the time where I would have been prepping for a speech for the assembly the next day, I then could have put towards, you know, doing my maths homework or something.
So, Mohammed, what is your message? You know, we've still got a lot of matrics from 2020 who are going to get their results on Monday. What is your message to those who are still waiting, who are perhaps anxious, and those who are perhaps not going to achieve what they hope for?
Well, I think that they should just remain calm because at this point in time, the wait is a long wait, especially when it approaches the day before, 2 days before, time sort of slows down. But if they just consciously tell themselves that they can't do anything about it now, they just have to wait and put it off their minds, that would be healthy. And if they didn't achieve as well as they wanted to, I think you know, you could choose if you want to write SUPs or not, but don't be disheartened because we're 19. Life isn't as serious as it seems. You know, you could go into another course and still have a happy life. So don't worry too much.
That's such a beautiful message. Wangari, I have to ask you whether your approach to your future and what the world needs from its future leaders, such as yourself, has changed in any way because of what you lived through during the pandemic. Has it even changed what you want to study?
I don't think going through the pandemic has changed what I want to study, but it just changed how we see the world as a whole. It obviously very virtual, very online. The importance of us being competent in such procedures is increasingly important.
And for you, Mohammed, has it fundamentally changed how you view the world of the future that you're going to be leading one day? I'm quite sure.
Thank you first. It did change a lot of things, of course, because, you know, we became more dependent on technology. We started doing more things online, and at times it seemed very uncertain when going into professions like medicine. You know, doing a GP consult over Zoom would be quite disheartening. But also you saw a lot of breakthroughs in works of vaccines and stuff like that, and you realize that even through turmoil, there's so much possibility to do good. And so it was just a reminder that, you know, you can still make an impact on the world. So.
Well, I'm going to let you two go off and celebrate because you absolutely deserve to. Thank you so much for taking time to chat to me this evening, and hearty congratulations. Wonderful, wonderful achievements, both of you, and thank you for your time. From the Redhill High School Matric class of 2020, that was former Deputy Head Boy Mohammed Mita, who wrote the IEB Matric and got 7 distinctions, and former Deputy Head Girl Wangari Mbuthia, who wrote the International Matric, the IB Matric. She finished in the top 2% of learners in the world.